Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the garage, welcome back to the race truck. So UCC is fast approaching, need to get working on this thing. Our engine should be done anytime now. We'll go into more about why it's taking so long and all that when that happens. But anyway, today we are working on the front of the truck. As you can see, I have capped the frame rails here. So before, when we cut off the front end of the truck, got rid of this frame section, we just had open exposed frame rails, and then I have another setup for when we're drag racing. We're going to use that old setup for the sled pull, but I had a couple bars made up with some plate that we just bolt onto this, and that would hold our front clip and our intercooler. So capped those off, made them nice and clean looking, just a lot better look than what was there. So we added a 16th plate, which is the thickness of a cutting wheel, so everything should still line up and look good and all that. So not really going to see this, but it was just something I wanted to take care of. But the main focus of today's video is our rack and pinion steering setup. This is a good time to do it since we don't have our engine currently, but we're going to get rid of this old setup that we had and replace it with the stuff at my feet. So the old setup was basically this factory steering shaft, and then we have a collapsible column inside the truck. It's just a like Amazon special one that has this collar, and then we added another support down below, and obviously our quick release steering wheel. So that's the inside of the truck, and then from that we actually went to, if I can get this off, well, there's another U-joint up here, and that is welded to a threaded piece of the old steering setup, and then we just used the old shaft. It worked, it was effective, never had any problems steering the truck. It did exactly what we wanted it to do. But as you can see, without the engine in here, it is very close to the side of the frame, and you can see where it's been rubbing the frame. So I want to clean it up and do it right. Let me get this out. So that is our old setup. So we're going to do it more like how everybody else has done it. This worked. We just made sure we had clearance at, compressing the suspension and at full lift, like if it was going to be on a lift. And it worked. Had a little slop like that. You could shake this back and forth a little bit. So that's what I want to take care of. So the parts we're going to be using, we got all from Summit Racing. We have this collapsible steering shaft. This is a Borgson, the 24-inch long, 450024 is the part number. We'll also have two universal joints. These, well, there's the part numbers there. This one is a 1-inch double D to 3/4 double D. And that is this 1-inch slide section to this 3/4 shaft. We also got this hunk of steering shaft from Summit. There's what of the part number you can make out. And this is a 3/4 to 3/4, so this will go on here, and then our collapsible steering shaft will be able to go onto that. We also have this Heim joint that we're going to use to support it. So basically what we're going to do, instead of having this thing kind of move as the suspension travels, it just kind of floats around. It's going to come up, and somewhere up here, we're going to have that support, go to another U-joint, and then we're going to go to our collapsible steering shaft, and there will be another U-joint there. Also, I have a bearing, I don't think it's here yet, coming, that we're going to put in this hole and cover that hole up, make it look nicey nice, and that will just be additional support for it. So that's the plan. We're going to have to cut this steering shaft down, obviously, but that's our plan for today, is to get the steering right, looking better. And I don't know if it'll improve how the truck steers. Like I said, I never really had a problem. Just want to clean it up, make it look better, and kind of do it right this time. So without further ado, let's revamp our rack and pinion steering setup. All right, a few days later, and our rack and pinion changes are done. I'm very happy with the results. So as you can see here, our support bearing came in. I fabricated a plate, stitch welded it in there to get rid of the big hole we had, but also to support that support bearing. Now that support bearing will actually lock the shaft as well. It has set screws on it, so that way the collapsible portion of the steering column, this bit right here, won't kind of work its way down, and thus limiting the travel of this collapsible portion here. I found when I was messing with it, it was like, you know, why is it kind of keep moving around? Well, what was happening, because I didn't have this bearing yet, it kept moving down and getting rid of the travel here. So very happy with it. We have our support heim here, our bearing up there, our 2 universal joints. Very happy with that result. Also, what we did was, if I get rid of my ground clamp here, I turned down our steering knuckles. I turned them down to 1 inch, 800 thousandths roughly. And what that allows this steering knuckle to do is actually to go into the bore of the rack. So this side of the rack was always limited. We had centered things up when we did it, so that way the steering was even, but we were actually losing about 1 inch of travel, because this whole area could actually go into the rack, and probably right to that line if I had to guess. So turning these down, we lost a lot of weight. These things were really heavy and bulky, really kind of made for more of an off-roading 4-wheel drive application with hydraulic steering. But now this will go into there, and we will have an extra inch of travel, which ½ inch either side. That will definitely help with getting the truck around and like loading it and unloading it, and just make it more drivable. Just while we were there, cut a little weight and gain some steering travel. So happy with how everything turned out. It definitely looks far better than it did before. As you can see, I did notch the motor mount. That way, when you do lift the frame, that the shaft's not hitting that and, you know, possibly denting it or something like that. So we have clearance there. Very happy with everything. Far superior looking than what we had previously. So that is probably the right way to do it. How we did it before worked. I know I get a lot of comments, a lot of questions about that setup. If you have the time, do it this way. It's definitely better. Like I said, before the steering felt fine, but maybe it'll feel even tighter now. So yeah, that is our revamped rack and pinion steering setup for a solid axle 4-wheel drive truck version 2.0. So cranking away, trying to get all the stuff done for UCC and all that. Yes, we don't have an engine, like I said, and I'm probably going to just stop saying it. We'll go over that when it comes and when we have it. So anyway, guys, I'm going to get to cranking on to some other project that you guys will see here coming up. But for now, hope you enjoyed. Please like the video, subscribe down below. Catch you guys on the next one. Get out in your garage, get the wrenching on your truck.